Of course, we were cautioned that all peoples can act horribly to one another. Biological anthropology class taught us that there was nothing in the genes of the people of the New World that made them any better at good politics or environmental stewardship than the people of the Old World. But despite all the tales of terror, of tribal warfare and cruel practices, of sacrifices on top of Tikal and Chichen Itza, of cannibalism in the Amazon, it became obvious from cross-cultural comparison that the savagery of the New World couldn't in any way compare with what we had been doing and still were doing throughout the westward expansion. The enterprise of imperialism and colonialism and slavery and extractive economy, propelled by a rhetoric of zealous manifest destiny, fostered and justified more savagery by the Europeans than any peoples we encountered everywhere. And the one thing that ethnography had proven was that not only are we all endowed by our Creator with the same intelligence and capacity for high culture, but with the inalienable rights supposedly guaranteed by our American Constitution, a constitution that grew out of an e pluribus unum of the English Magna Carta and the Iroquois Confederate Constitution. Politics is actually a very good thing. That is, when people, the polity, sit down to discuss ideas and try to work out fair compromises. Politics controlled by violent powers hell-bent on profit through exploitation, whether of ecosystem services and natural capital, or of animal labor and human capital and labor, always seem to devolve into an unsustainable and tragic mess. Okay, so you're probably wondering how to connect all this with climate change, mitigation, and adaptation. So let's look at what has happened to politics here in the West in contemporary times. Right now, we're in a curious and jumbled moment in history when false dichotomies are being used to obscure the real issues surrounding climate drawdown solutions. De Tocqueville, at the founding of our democracy, you may remember, warned against the tyranny of the majority, suggesting that strict adherence to what we call ancient Athenian democracy, where every citizen has an equal vote, could lead to mob rule if the majority turn out to be poorly educated or informed. To protect against this, the new nation of America created a republic ruled by a representative democracy where elected leaders vetted by their understanding of and adherence to and dedication to the Constitution, assumedly men and women of letters, well enough educated to do a deep read of the document, would ensure that the needs of the people were met without violating the intent and spirit of the Constitution. This was the notion of a republic. And it even involved creating an electoral college to help balance out what might become unfair population biases.